Let's dive right in with announcements. So, in both domestic relationships and restaurant operations, effective communication is the most important aspect of keeping your team aligned. Without it, things like updates, many updates during specials can just fall through the cracks and leave your team unprepared. We've all had that one bartender or server come to you in the middle of a shift and ask, hey, I haven't heard about this new menu change or a drink special that was going on for that day after they've already spoken with a guest. Using the 7 Shifts announcement tool, you can broadcast one-way key messages to all or a select portion of your employees, which you can use what we call a roster talk to easily address staff who are working today, tomorrow, or on a specific days of the week. For example, if there's a change or an incident on last night's shift, you can quickly communicate to the employees who had a shift last night without having to go through a whole list and select employees one by one using the roster talk filter. As soon as an announcement is sent, your employees are going to receive an email of your message, a push notification goes out, and the announcement lives on top of the communications tab on the 7 Shifts app. Additionally, if you're on the entree plan or higher, you can also use read receipts to see who's seen your message and resend to employees your message to employees who haven't read it yet. So basically, announcements is designed to make sure your employees see the information in your message, and announcements is available on all plans. Moving on to block days. Everybody wants time off around the holidays to spend with their family and friends, which is totally understandable. As much as it would be nice to give all your employees a break during that time, you still have to make sure your restaurant is appropriately staffed because guests are going to keep coming in. A great way to prevent all of your staff from taking time off at the same time is to use block days under the time off section. For example, if you already know you have 3 employees who have asked for Thanksgiving and Black Friday off this year, and you want to make sure that no other employees request these days off, you can set those days as blocked. Then, if an employee tries to request these days off, they'll get a notification that they're not able to book these days off. Now, managers yourselves can always go into time off and manually add or approve employee time off on block days, but employees won't be able to request these block days for themselves. This feature, block days, is available on all plans. Keeping with the same track, in addition to blocking days, you can have your team submit their availability in advance using either the repeating availability function, which is focused on employees with more of a consistent and long-term availability, or the weekly availability function, which is focused on employees with variable and week-to-week changes to their availability. Even if your employees have already submitted their repeating availability, they can still submit a weekly one for holiday weeks that'll override their repeating consistent availability. A good example of this is, let's say, a student who has a week off during school around the holidays and wants to pick up extra shifts. They can go into their account, give you that week's availability, indicating that they can work more, and pick up extra shifts. Availability, weekly and repeating, is available on all of our plans. Last but not least in our communication suite, I want to talk about events. Like Melissa mentioned earlier, the holidays are the #1 most common time for large gatherings, parties, and other kind of special events. These large gatherings often bring a lot of new guests to your restaurant for the first time. So it's important to maintain a high level of service during the holidays to keep these folks coming back even after the holidays. Understaffing is one of the biggest causes of a drop in service. Our events tool, included in the entree plan and higher, allows you to organize these functions and have them front and center at the top of your schedule. So your scheduling managers can have the correct information about who's coming in, which resos you have right up front, and staff accordingly for a consistent level of service throughout the holidays. Awesome. Yeah, let's jumping into hiring.
Actually, let's jump.
Should we stop for questions? Okay.
Does anybody have any questions about the communication tools? I just wanted to check before we move on. Okay, I think we're clear. And if you do have any questions, we'll pause at the next spot for those. Cool. Go ahead, Sina.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Thank you. So we saw this in the poll at the beginning of this webinar. Hiring is an ongoing challenge for restaurants. During the holidays, you might need extra staff to help keeps running smoothly. But how do you stay ahead of the curve and be proactive? We've got you covered on that one too. Earlier this year, we introduced our hiring tool. It's a simple applicant tracking system that lets you create job postings with custom application questions, automatically posts to Google Jobs, and keeps track and sorts incoming applicants throughout the whole hiring process. So once you find a candidate that you're ready to hire, you can simply use the application to input the application in the hiring feature to have the applicant come through and go into 7 shifts directly and get managed from there. Hiring is included in all of the plans. You should have this handy. Now, let's assume that you already have the staff you'll need for the next few months. That's fantastic. But how do you retain them? The 7 shifts engaged feature helps your management team identify those super engaged employees who never missed a shift for recognition, as well as those less engaged employees who may be at a risk of turnover for further coaching to help them along. Using the engagement dashboard, you can easily see critical insights like who has the most sick days, drop shifts, or lates. And if you notice a specific employee is highly disengaged, you can message them directly in 7 shifts to schedule a discussion around it. From what we've seen from other clients and other restaurants, the Engage tool can help increase your staff retention by 13%, which is great. It's a big number. The Engaged feature, available in all of our plans. Now, jumping on to shift feedback, this is similar to the Engage tool. The shift feedback can also help you gain insights about the employee state of mind. If an employee has a bad day, they don't really want to spend the 5 minutes to talk to a manager. They just want to go home. And great feedback from a good day usually gets lost and never gets noted anywhere. To recognize some of the changes that have had a positive effect in your restaurant. Shift feedback is an automatic feedback survey that is sent out to employees automatically at the end of their shift, asking them to rate the shift and leave any comments that they think are important for that day. When shift feedback is turned on, you can view the average shift score on the Engage page. To enable shift feedback, you have to be on the works plan or higher. All right. On the flip side of ensuring you have enough staff for the holidays to maintain strong levels of service, you also don't want to have too many staff on the schedule and just have your labor costs skyrocket. The labor budget tool on the schedule page is at your service to help with this. With the point of sales and the labor integration, you can set your labor targets and track your actual labor cost, as well as view your projected sales to make sure you're scheduled effectively for service and to nail those labor targets every single time. I'm gonna just pull up my demo account and show you how this works. Melissa, is my screen coming through correctly?
Yeah, I can see it.
Perfect. So I have my demo account here. I have my schedule for the week. And here's the labor budget tool. So as you can see, my sales projections are coming through because I have a point of sale integration, and those sales get fed into our algorithms, and projections automatically get populated for you. I have my projected labor percentage right at the top here. And based on what I've scheduled for, my labor dollar amounts is pulling in here automatically as well. This number is showing 0 because I don't have a point of sale labor integration, but if you had a labor integration, this number will be filled out for you as well. So you can really see the gist of how it easily kind of allows you to hit those targets and be proactive with your labor dollar amounts. The labor budget tool is available on the entree plan and above. If you want to go even further, we also have the optimal labor tool available on the works plan and up. The optimal labor tool uses your restaurant's projected sales to outline how much labor is needed for the day on an hour-by-hour basis, giving you a much more detailed and focused outline of your daily labor needs to, again, nail those labor targets.
Awesome. I think we should pause for questions here. I have a couple questions in the chat about Engage. So first question was from Vaughn, which is, where do you find the Engage scores in the product?
The Engage scores are on your, from the desktop app, top right-hand side of the page at the top, you should see a smiley face. That's the Engage dashboard. And from there to the left, you'll be able to see the shift Engage scores there. And if you're on the works plan, they're going to automatically be on your manager logbook right at the top as well.
The second one's a little bit more specific, but it's from Marco, and he says, does the Engage score tie in with Toast to receive data about employee performance?
Yeah, absolutely. The data that we pull from Toast to populate our Engage dashboard is mostly focused around the labor aspect. So when your employees are clocking in, are they late compared to their scheduled shift, things like that. So we don't have a direct pull of engagement data from Toast, but we use the labor data that we get from Toast to populate the Engage dashboard for you.
That's all the questions for now. So why don't we move on? If you do have any more questions, throw them in the QA or the chat. I'm looking at both. So let's go.
Awesome. The business decline option. So what if you don't have those handy projections, or you aren't sure how busy you're going to be at the end of the night? You know, we can't see into the future, but this is the perfect time to use the business decline option on your schedule. This lets your employees know that their shift doesn't have a firm end time, and they may be sent home earlier if sales are slowing down, or later if the restaurant is busy. Business decline option is available on any 7 shifts.
All right. So another poll question here. Do you tend to see an increase in late no-shows or sick shifts during the holiday season? Should be up on your screen now. How big was the team that you managed, Sina?
It was a pretty large team. We had about 40 to 60 employees between front of house and back of house. So, you know, I've definitely done it. You know, it's around the holidays. I want to go hang out with my friends and late nights, and might not make it to work the next day. But yeah, I think this is pretty common in restaurants as well.
To be young, right?
To be young. I forgot what that feels like.
I know. All right. Let's see. Okay. So 6 shifts are the ones for this group here. 55% of you said that you had an increase in 6 shifts, 27% in late shifts, and another 20% in no shows. The 7% of you who say no, though, So lucky. Very, very lucky. Keep your employees close. All right. So let's talk about dealing with the unexpected now.
Yeah, dealing with the unexpected, and let's start with find who's available. So now that we've gone over some of the tools that you can use to help you plan in advance, let's look at some tools to use when the unplanned happens. So we've all been there. The subtle panic that settles in when you know you're going to have a busy night and someone just called in sick. We recently created a brand new feature just for this very use case. So with the brand new Find Who's Available feature, when an employee calls in sick or no shows for their shift, using this tool, you're able to quickly find other employees to cover that shift. No frantic searches through your contacts list or no message blasts to everyone. Just see exactly who's available to work at a glance and create a new shift right from the app. Here's how it works. I think we have a video here. Yeah, so I'm going into my 7 Shifts app. To the right side, here's my schedule. I know a specific employee is going to call in sick, so I'm going to find them on my list and click on that specific shift. So Adrian is not coming in. The Find a Cover button just pops up right from the bottom, and it allows me to offer this up to the shift pool or just find who's available. So I'm going to do that. It lets me flag the shift. So if this person was a sick, no show, late, I can flag that right from here. I'm going to go sick for this one. And right now it's loading a list of employees who are available to work. So this looks at their availability, their shifts, and gives me a quick list. So I'm going to message Ari. A pre-loaded message already pops up asking, hey, could you please work this shift? I'm gonna just leave it as is and send that out. Ari messaged me back and said she's definitely ready to come to work. I can just click on her name and assign her to this shift with a click of a button. I'm gonna leave her a quick note as well, just thanking her for saving my bacon tonight. And yeah, once my slow typing is done there, you can see that it'll just add Ari to the schedule with one click of a button and you're done. That's it. Find who's available. Yeah, it's a game changer, and it's available only on the mobile app, but it's free on all of the plans. So please get to using it.
Okay, so last poll question, I promise. This is mostly for my benefit, so I really appreciate if you answer honestly. Have you tried the Find Who's Available feature yet? And if not, did you hear about it?
I try it all the time, even though I don't have to manage a schedule. It just makes me feel good.
Yeah.
Like, oh, yes.
Quick straight through. Yeah. Okay. Finish that up quick. And ooh, not yet. So if you get the chance, okay, hopefully you don't have people just calling in last minute, but if you do, try it out and send us your feedback. It would be awesome to hear what you guys think about the feature. And for those of you who don't know how to use it, hopefully you do now, and or if you have questions, throw them into the chat or the QA.
Alrighty, let's jump into the shift pool and how it can help you. Now, if you don't need immediate shift coverage, another great option is getting your team using the shift pool feature. This feature lets them pick up shifts that other employees have dropped or want to trade. As a manager, I always dreaded getting that shift swap text. I get a text to the tune of, hey, so-and-so agreed to trade shifts with me, to which I would say, okay, can you have so-and-so text me to confirm the change? Because I wanted to keep everybody accountable. And then so-and-so would text me a full 2 hours before the shift is about to start on the day of, leaving me in a full state of panic for the whole day and graying my hair. With the shift pool and our shift trading feature, all of those requests will still come through to you and your management team so you can stay on top of everything, but leaves more accountability with your employees so that you don't have to spend a bunch of time manually moving shifts around. They swap the shift, you confirm it, and it automatically goes on the schedule. Shift pool is available on all of our plans. All right. And finally, for the 12th tool, fall and winter are notorious for making people sick. If an employee is feeling unwell, it's better for them to stay home rather than potentially spread whatever they have with your team and guests. Especially after the past couple of years, you want to make sure that your customers feel safe and comfortable in your restaurant. At the end of the day, unfortunately, some people do come to work sick. So to prevent that from happening, you can use the employee health check feature on our 7 Punches app to require employees to complete and pass a screening survey before they're able to punch in for their shift. If an employee answers yes to any other questions, they'll be prevented from clocking in and their manager will be notified. The employee health check feature is available on our 7 Punches time clocking app for any plan, but if you're on the appetizer plan or higher, you can create an unlimited number of custom questions and make it your own.